everything's on. So everything's on now.
Beautiful,
It's okay.
beautiful,
You're,
beautiful.
you're still young at heart, man.
Oh, dude, I never grew up, bro. I think some people really hold that against me too,
That's
because
why
I really never grew up. You know.
that's why like I really love that tattoo I got on my arm. The one
Mhm.
that I got when had well I was like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry. We need to skip episode 2 real quick. I have a scheduled tattoo
Mhm.
session." But that
Right.
tattoo, like it just shows, the middle like the little guy in the swing. It just means that there's a kid in me. It never grows up.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Never grows up, man.
How was your week?
Oh man, it was great, man. It was actually I soaked in a lot of knowledge this week. It was a good,
Okay.
we were getting prepared for my son's birthday this week. I watched a couple
Yep.
gaming documentaries.
Okay.
Due to
Anything on the scene? Like anything cool? Like
actually, have you watched Loki yet?
no, I know. I'm still coming to you from beautiful Kansas City, Missouri. So I'm
Yeah.
still kind of on
Okay, so
vacation slash whatever.
well, I'm
So
not going to talk about the show. Actually, the first subject I have is actually it kind of deals with Loki. It's something that was in the show, but we'll get to that after
okay.
the weekly talk. But yeah, I watched the documentary on this game called Polybius, which I'm going to talk about to you guys soon. Very interesting
Actually,
stuff.
I'm looking forward to that because I'm very familiar with that story and that whole mythos. And
Yeah.
yeah, did you know that mythos goes so far back that there's actually a reference to it in The Simpsons?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you know that? Yeah.
I had to do the deep dive, and that was actually one of the last things that I found. I'm just like, oh shit, I remember that. I watched another gaming documentary about Tetris, which, unbeknownst to me, I had no idea that it was a product of the Soviet Union, and there was a major legal
Yeah.
battle to get the rights of the game, and that the game was released, and there was so many people that were fighting for the rights
and,
of it.
and it became a worldwide phenomenon, and then so much to the point that today there are still world championship Tetris tournaments.
Oh yeah, and
So you know,
amazing. The story itself is amazing because the Pagnatov, I believe his name is. I excuse me if I got his name wrong. He made the game in his during like extra hours during work, because he was an AI engineer for the Soviet Union. So he
but
kind of threw the game away when he saw that people's time was being taken from the game, and he was just like, this is unproductive. So he got rid of the game, and it still managed to survive. And sooner or later, it made its way to America. And
right,
what was amazing that I learned too that they respected the fact that the game was a Soviet Union game and that they wanted to have the mystery behind the Iron Curtain. So they marketed it as a Russian puzzle game. I
right,
thought that was so genius on
brilliant.
their part. It's an amazing
That was fucking
documentary.
brilliant.
Amazing.
Absolutely,
It,
fucking brilliant how they did it, and because that game really like it kickstarted like the whole like that was right around the end of the Nintendo era and the Game Boy era, going into like Super Nintendo and Genesis, the 16-bit era. So like that was one of the last games. I don't want to say it was one of the last games. It was one of like the last big, hardcore hits for like the NES and the original Game Boy. And then we kind of slid right into the 16-bit era with like Super Nintendo, Genesis, all that stuff.
yeah,
So
very
yeah.
interesting documentary. If you guys are interested in seeing this stuff, because actually I watched earlier today a small documentary on the Game Glove, whatever it was called,
Power Glove.
the Power
Power
Glove.
Glove.
Yes,
Yeah.
very interesting
Yeah.
stuff. If you guys are interested, check out the Game Historian on YouTube. But as far as the rest of the week goes, we also watched Black Widow.
Okay.
Um,
How was that?
okay, so good morning, Deshaun. Good morning, my brother. We got the milestone follower, the number one super fan. Always here, Deshaun Myers, man. Shout
All
out,
right, my
brother.
man. Good to see you, baby.
So Black
What's
Widow,
up?
um, you know, this for those of you who follow the whole MCU timeline, it takes place after Civil War and before Infinity War. This is no spoiler, so don't worry, guys. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. The movie was a good movie to go back to in the theaters, as it was very action packed. Reminded me, there was, I had a lot of James Bond feels. There was a lot of James Bond feels in there. David Harbour, who is Hopper from Stranger Things, is the light of the movie. He is
Really,
just
I
phenomenal.
like him. I'm looking forward to speaking of him and speaking of that character specifically. Like, I'm very much looking forward to season 4 of Stranger Things, and like,
Yeah, and
he's a good actor.
let me tell you, he's the only that I believe the only one who had a perfect Russian accent.
That doesn't surprise me,
You know,
considering what we're about to see in season
Stranger
4
Things,
of Stranger
yeah.
Things. So he probably already had it down before they made
Yeah,
Black Widow.
so
So
he did such a good job, and they really play into the, how do you say, the notion of the super serum. The good brings out the good, the bad brings out the bad. And if you watch this movie, you're gonna love Red Guardian so much. The movie was good. I personally feel like that this is the wrong story to tell to fill in a time that we have questions about.
as far as what, like, can you clarify that a little bit?
Okay, so the whole notion of the movie was, where was Black Widow during Infinity War, or whatever happened during Civil War. I forgot what it was. And there was, there's a lot of questions. Where was this person and where was that person? But, so they wanted to tell an origin story. Now, if you want to tell an origin story, I would expect other things. Like, in the comic books, I expect to see the Winter Soldier training the Black Widow like he does in the comic books. I also expect to see, just more in-depth stuff, but I didn't feel like this was an origin. It played along with the past, it played along with the past and some little things, but it was more of a filler story of what happened in between. And I feel like the marketing made it feel like, okay, this is an origin story, when it wasn't an origin story.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely know. Excuse me, I definitely know what you're talking about. What's up, Joe?
What's going on, Joe Poe?
Yeah, I see. And this is where you and me get a little divergent on some of our, I guess, MCU
Our perspectives.
DC. Yeah, like, this is not a movie where, unless it was like everybody and their mom was shouting from the mountaintops, you have to see this movie. I can wait until I can watch it for free. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't mind the MCU. I don't mind watching some of the movies. Every single one of them is entertaining to an extent. You know what I mean? They've all been decent movies. You know what I mean? But I think I saw Captain America: Winter Soldier. Definitely saw that in the theater, and that was a very good movie. And off the top of my head, I'm thinking,
good movie. That was a really
I
good
think
movie.
that was it. I want to say out of the entire MCU, that was the only one I went and actually spent money on in the movie theater. Everything else I saw kind of functionally for free. Artie, chill. JD, you chill too. Too many animals in here.
The bird.
The bird.
These are the guests this week. The birds.
Bird is a word. Ooma mow mow. Ooma mow mow. Artie.
But yeah, so for me, the final review number out of 10, it is definitely at a 7.9.
Okay.
7.9.
Okay, so it's not didn't blow your socks off, but better than average.
Yeah. It was a good movie. It was a good blockbuster to come back to the theaters too.
Okay.
Length was good. Easter eggs. There are Easter eggs all over the place. You know me.
Cool.
I'm a guy who loves Easter eggs, and
I think we all do.
and a great cast. The guy, the villain. I can't even remember his name. But he plays Frenchie in The Departed. And he plays Dreykov, and his Russian accent's not really that good. But the last thing that I have for this week is mine and my wife's favorite show has started, Big Brother. And
I love that you're into these like trashy ass TV shows.
Yeah,
dude.
I love it. I love it. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there is a veteran on the show. They
really?
usually have veterans every season, and and I'm a big fan of. They're usually my favorite ones, the veterans, because they have the best personality. But this guy,
Right.
coincidentally, my wife's name he has is Frenchie. And he starts off talking in like this farmer's accent, and he's like, "But what y'all don't, y'all think I'm some kind of dumb farmer, but what y'all don't know is that I'm a fucking Army veteran, a Navy veteran, or something like that." I was like, "Oh shit." And what's really cool about this guy is that he picked a very, this season they really wanted to be inclusive. They wanted to have more diversity on the show. And what's really, really cool is that they split it up in teams, and his team, and I think this really speaks on him as a person, that he chose a team where one person is a female South African female whose father is like the ambassador to the king of Africa or something like that.
Really?
An autistic female, Joe Frazier's son.
What?
Yes, Joe Frazier's son, who is openly gay, and what I think is really cool is that he picked a team,
Better pick the team that was all like
all inclusive.
super-
And who was the last one that he got? Frenchie. He got the South African girl. He got Brittany. He got Joe Frazier's son.
That's it. It was only 4.
Oh, it was only 4 of them, and yeah, and that's it. And the team, it speaks in volumes because it's just I just think it's very beautiful, and it worked really well, and I can't wait to see what this season goes for. And that is enough of my fucking rambling. How was your week, Jay?
Overall, it was okay. We got some stuff done. I'm helping my girlfriend get some stuff done around her house, in preparation for, I guess, our move out here. Like
Yes.
she already lives here. Me and my kids will be, I guess, joining her towards the end of the year. Sorry, Artie just flew by me. Yeah, for a second.
The bird just flew by Jay.
Oh, I heard.
You probably got like a good video of me freaking the fuck out for a split second, right? Like doing the fight or flight thing.
He just did that.
That's great.
Yeah. So, come here, Artie. Holy crap! Since you're gonna be such a nuisance, come here.
You would die.
You want to? Okay, whatever. So, anyways, yeah. So we got some stuff moved around. We're not entirely done. We're probably gonna do some more stuff today. She's got to work tomorrow and Tuesday, so I'll be probably doing some more stuff in the house tomorrow and Tuesday. But we had a good time. Last night we went to. I saw some friends of mine from the Army who happen to live here in the Kansas City metro area.
Not bad.
So we actually went to their house to watch the UFC fight last night. So we had a good time. Like they cooked dinner and we had dinner and watched the fights and just hung out and kind of caught up and reminisced and bullshitted, our way all the way through the UFC fights. And really that's really been about it. I think I sang karaoke one night, as I recall, and that's been about my entire week so far. It haven't really done too much per se, but it's been busy the whole time I've been here in Kansas City. It has been fucking nonstop. So,
Welcome
although
home.
I did eat some of the best fucking barbecue in the world the other night, though. I will say that, there's a place in Kansas City. It's called Q39. A little bit pricey, and I actually paid extra, and I literally just basically made myself like a meat platter.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I had like sliced sausage, burnt ends, thing of ribs, and oh god damn it, what do they call that shit? And this is how stupid the Army's made me over the years, man. I can't even think straight. God damn it, brisket. So I had like all 4 of those things on my plate. I'm probably gonna have a heart attack within 2 or 3 years.
Oh
But
shit.
I took that's the picture that I posted on my Facebook. If you see my Facebook, the latest.
Yeah.
It's like that. I literally made like a meat platter for myself at this restaurant, and then I didn't eat the whole thing in the restaurant. I ate a couple things that I wanted to eat real quick, and then I boxed the rest up, and I basically ate meat for the next 2 days, basically off that platter.
Meat eater. Meat eater.
Here, Artie, want to say hi?
My wife
Hold
said
on,
John
I
would
can't
die if a bird flew past him like that. Dude, it's time to face your fears.
Yeah. Artie will do that to you. But he's a cool bird. He's sitting right here next to me, actually, right now. He's sitting right here next to me. He's a cool bird. But when he flies, like when you hear that, when you hear like that rustling by your ear, you know what I mean? Like you don't know what the hell's going on. Like it really does freak you out. Step up, Artie.
Thank you, baby.
Step up. You want to drink a beer? You want to drink a beer, Artie? That's what I thought. Exactly. Shut the fuck up.
Oh man, there was a time where me and my wife were in Central Park, and there was a bunch of geese in the pond, and she decided to attract the geese over by us, and I ran like a child shitting out of his diaper. Talking about shitting out of your diaper, what did you think of last night's UFC event?
I shit out of my diaper. Like, I definitely shit out of my diaper. Like, no. So last week here on the podcast, me and John made our predictions. I was going for a trifecta, which did not include the main event. I was actually using last night as a litmus test for potentially maybe starting to place some bets on MMA fights. My trifecta, I went 2 for 3. So I did not get my trifecta last night, so I would have lost my money basically. And the main event ended up being, I don't know how this keeps happening, but the main event ended up turning into a shit show again. And I've really at this point kind of lost all realistic respect outside of the cage for Conor McGregor. I'm not sorry he broke his leg. I know he was pissed at the time. I was probably in a lot of pain. But the fact that he didn't really drop character after that happened really kind of just showed his true colors. I don't care if the dude's number one. I don't care if the dude's the number one highest paid athlete on Forbes list right now, and I'll tell you why. Because he's like the only one on the UFC roster that's fucking rich right now. The UFC is paying their fighters dog shit. Because he got rich doesn't mean shit to me. He's a fucking asshole. And I'm really not sorry that he broke his fucking leg. I hope he sits out the entire fucking next 2 years, and I hope the next time he comes back, he gets his fucking ass handed to him on a platter again.
Yeah, no,
I really do. The guy's a shitbag. So fuck him. All props to Dustin Poirier, who was handily winning the fight. I don't know. I was really wanting to see what was going to happen in the second round. I really was, because it did look like Poirier was swinging himself out. Poirier used a lot of energy.
Yeah. He did.
A lot of energy. Those first 5 minutes, Poirier used a lot of energy. I would have liked to have seen the second round. But I'm really not sorry McGregor fucking broke his leg.
Yeah,
he's a fucking asshole.
It's very interesting. And before I get to the other fights, I do want to talk about the main event first. And before I get to that, I'm going to give an update because I do a UFC pay-per-view pick'em every month. Last I went 7 for 2. This time I went 5 for 9, and I'm looking at my things here. For some odd reason, it says that I chose Chris Mutino to beat Sean O'Malley, which is a fucking lie because,
Yeah, you definitely did not pick. Yeah, you definitely did not make that pick.
Yeah, but the McGregor and Poirier fight. The one thing that really bothered me so much was Conor McGregor's behavior during the press conference. It was weird. You know what? And this is a really strong.
It was cringy.
Yeah, it was, like I said, I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. I love his shit talk because it's the show. So I personally thought, okay, I knew there was some tension now, but I didn't think he was going to take it as far as he did. Not only did he take it far, the jokes, the insults weren't even funny. Even Poirier.
Making fun of a dude's wife and shit. I mean,
yeah. Even Poirier himself said, this isn't you. Like, he made a comment like that. He was like, you used to have better insults like that. You used to have better insults than that. You know. And personally, I kind of feel the moment that he came out and he picked up the hot sauce bottles and he squirted them and emptied them out and threw them, I was just like, there's something. Yeah, there's something wrong here. And there's a couple things that I suspect maybe something personal happened and he's taking it out. To have like this toughness thing, but then also I thought maybe he's either intoxicated or probably high on something, and we'll probably find that soon enough. With the drug test results coming out soon, but I believe there was something chemically wrong with Conor McGregor during the press conference.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, the dude's he is the richest athlete in the world as of right now. Sorry, the bird fluttered again. He's currently the richest athlete in the world as per 2020, 2021. The guy's got more money than God right now as far as like paid athletes are concerned. At this point, the dude needs to just hang him up. You got nothing to prove. But you haven't done shit since, what was it, 2016? 2017?
The dude
hasn't done shit. He hasn't done shit.
I have to throw in something, though, Jay.
Please do. Please do.
That guillotine.
Which one?
The first guillotine that he caught Poirier with.
Oh,
that was impressive.
I thought he might have had it locked. I really did.
It was his legs. His legs weren't locking in the back on his back because Poirier was pushing too hard. It was too much strength.
There's a way to lock in a guillotine where you don't necessarily have to have your legs anywhere
tied up. Yeah.
And for a split second, that's what I thought he had. I thought he had caught Poirier, and he was like a standing guillotine.
It was a very impressive guillotine, I have to say. And for
a split second, and good on Poirier getting out of that, because for a second I thought it was going to be a short fight in the other direction, not a one rounder that ends with a fucking broken leg.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And it was funny because I saw him go down, and I'm just like, okay, it's over, because he was getting some good hits in. They were both swinging at each other, great hits. Yeah. And then that first time he went down, and then he had the guillotine, and I'm just like, holy shit, that's smart. That's good. And you could even tell that Poirier was not ready for that either, because who would have thought that Conor McGregor was going to wrap his arm around his neck?
Well, and he came out throwing kicks too. McGregor didn't throw a punch for the first almost fight.
He threw about 6 or 7 kicks before he threw his first punch.
Which they say there's one of those kicks is the one that actually broke his leg. So Deshaun, I know you didn't see the fight, Deshaun. What happened was the first round ended, but right at the end of the first round, McGregor stepped on his back foot, on his right foot, and his leg broke right above the ankle.
Yeah.
So it became a doctor stop. Yeah, and it was like, and he knew it was broken. Like the bell sounded, and he called the ref over, and the ref called the fight immediately. Like his leg is broke, and so like it was a shit show ending to a shit show person.
Yeah,
like that. Like
now,
it's just like yeah.
Now, do you believe Poirier's claim that it broke during the check? Really?
Yeah, because we were talking bone on bone. You're talking bone on bone.
Okay.
Now Poirier might not have known that it broke the way it broke when he stepped on it, right? But you can feel sometimes like when they check kicks and they do stuff like that, or if you use your arm, like Poirier said, it went off his elbow, which would make sense.
Yeah.
If McGregor threw his elbow, or Poirier threw his elbow up and checked a McGregor kick with his elbow, he would have felt it in his arm.
That's
some type of a weird feeling when he checked it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I do believe Poirier had an idea. He probably had an inkling that dude's leg is fucking hurting.
And
right
you know
now.
what? That makes sense too, because Poirier also made a claim that McGregor was grabbing his gloves to pull him down. I don't know if you heard that.
That is a normal tactic in MMA right now.
So,
grabbing the gloves is a normal thing. Just like pawing at the air with your fingers out, which is why a lot of people poke in the eyes. Like that is a normal tactic now. Like MMA has evolved to the point where fighters and high fight IQ fighters are using stuff to their advantage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like in the ring, stuff that they did not do 10, 15 years ago. So the MMA game has evolved, and if your fight IQ is a little bit higher, you're going to do every little thing to your advantage. You know, like when the ref can't see you and you're all tangled up against the cage, maybe like grabbing the cage over here where the ref can't see, and grabbing the cage when you're not supposed to, and just keeping it out of sight of the ref to give yourself a better position or whatever. Like everybody does it. You know, nobody really acknowledges it right now, but everybody fucking does it. They can get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I mean, you hear the refs all the time, like don't grab the cage.
Don't grab the cage.
Warn them,
yep.
They warn him like 15 fucking times before they even fucking think about deducting a point. So it's like, why would you not grab the cage a couple times? You know what I mean?
It's like you should take a drink for every time they say don't grab the cage.
Straight up. Yeah, straight up. You could literally make a drinking game out of that shit. It's like, that's how ridiculous it is. I mean, the referees are so The referees are so staunchly like against taking points. I don't know why. Also, speaking of which, I wanted to ask you about this as we kind of transition to some of the other fights. The Sean O'Malley fight. Remember we were talking about?
Oh yeah.
Wanting like more 10-8 rounds, you know, and potentially 10-7 rounds back,
Yeah.
you know, a few podcasts ago.
Well, that's what we got.
Round one, Sean O'Malley versus other dude, Chris, whatever his last name is.
Chris Mutino.
In my opinion, that was a 10-8 round. That
Oh
was
yeah.
a 10-8 round.
I do have my own opinions.
Did the judges score 10-8? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
because
and
that's
now,
what I would call it.
I have some thoughts about Mutino, about that fight. One,
I want to hear.
Sean O'Malley came out with guns blazing. You know, he came in. He was doing the his little tactics, and at least this time he was able to do his little showboating and make it look good after. Except one point where he was dribbling and he missed the knockout, which is fine. It still looked cool, whatever. But Chris Mutino, that guy was eating punches like ice cream sandwiches at 6 a.m., bro. That motherfucker.
Dude, Sean O'Malley got fucking tired beating this dude's ass.
In the first round, Sean O'Malley beat his own personal record of 140. It was like 141 before, and he got to like 140 something by the end of the first round. Amazing.
Strikes thrown?
And strikes thrown. Now, if you, because like I usually watch with the Fight Center on, at that time, Mutino only had 43 strikes, and Sean O'Malley already was at like 150. Now, here's the thing. Mutino, skilled fighter, very strong, but there was a lot of times where I feel like O'Malley was embarrassing him because his defense, his hand defense, wasn't doing what I felt should have been done to.
Okay, and to be fair, Mutino came out of the CFFC.
Yes,
this was his very first UFC fight. Not just the very first UFC fight. He was on the fucking main card,
and he took he took it 11 days notice too.
Super short notice. Now, first off, props to him. Second off, this is the second time tonight I'm gonna fucking shit talk the UFC. You've got how many fucking fighters on your goddamn roster, Dana White? You fucking tomato head, and you can't find one of them to take a fight on short notice. All that shit he talks about being in the game, being in this. I know how to run my organization and this, that, and the other. And you're telling me out of all the people on your fucking roster, you couldn't find a single one to fight Sean O'Malley on short notice. I call bullshit. Dana White brought this fucking kid out of like the Bush leagues to fight on the main card of a UFC pay-per-view. Okay, just to get fucking wrecked and worked by Sean O'Malley. Which, by the way, I was glad that kid kind of embarrassed Sean O'Malley, not because he didn't get his ass kicked, but because he lasted fucking like almost the entire fight.
Yeah.
Like this kid lasted. Like Sean O'Malley literally got tired beating this dude's ass, and that kid started fighting back. About the third round, Chris started fighting back, and you could tell like Sean O'Malley was still kicking his ass. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but this kid was like fucking Rocky. This was like Rocky versus fucking Apollo. You know what I mean? Like Rocky was just getting his fucking ass handed to him on a platter, but he wasn't going down. And it took a fucking stoppage. Like the ref had to stop it, because he wasn't going down.
Which I think,
and he was pissed.
I think it's still. I think it could have still gone. He was still standing.
I agree.
He was still moving.
I did not agree with the ref stoppage. He just wasn't answering shots. That was the problem.
Yeah,
there were too many unanswered fucking punches. Like, and that's where as a ref, like I don't necessarily blame the ref for that. I don't agree with it, but I don't necessarily blame the ref. You got to be safe. You got to keep the fighter safe. You have to.
Yeah.
And the dude was taking a shitload of shots to the dome piece. The dude's probably got
a broken nose. Yeah.
But I mean, like, the dude's really good at stopping punches with his face, dude. Like, holy shit. Like, and Sean O'Malley was legitimately getting tired. Like, me and one of my buddies that I was hanging out with last night from the Army, we were joking, like, when you get into a fist fight, like, that Chris kid, man, like, that's the guy you don't want to fight. Because, like, that dude will literally, like, just eat everything you have. And, like, you're sitting there throwing punches, beating the dude down, and they just stand the fuck back up and just keep coming at you. And you're like, oh my fucking God. Like, I'm getting tired beating this fucking ass.
That's a good sparring partner.
That is a scary fight to fight, bro. When you throw
everything in the kitchen,
and they don't go down, and they keep coming.
And I think he went down once, like twice actually. I think he went down through all those punches in the face, and he only went down. We're saying less than 5 times. Impressive.
I want to say the one he got knocked down in the first round, and that was just a Sean O'Malley caught him with a stiff jab, and he was off balance. So he basically he went down, but he got booped right back up. You know what I mean? Right back up. He just and I don't remember the second knockdown quite as much, but. Yeah, he was still coming at O'Malley almost the entire 15 minutes. It didn't last. I think they stopped at like minute 3. I think of round 3.
There was 28 seconds left. 28 seconds left on the clock.
So he went almost the entire. He went 14 and a half minutes. And O'Malley did not have an answer. And O'Malley, by the way, is considered kind of a knockout artist and a very quick one at that.
Yeah.
This kid
usually first round knockouts almost every one of his fights. So.
Yeah, and this kid took the whole fucking enchilada, with his face. His face.
Deshaun Myers, we have 2 Conor McGregor comments here. One, he's a performance artist. He can get people hyped for a fight, but he no longer has the heart to fight. And one from Francesca Sanchez. Oh, he's done. Honestly, his shit talking was whack. What's up with him sticking his nose in the air the entire press conference? He was doing that. He was doing that. I can't respect it. I'm glad Poirier acted the way he did when he won. That's McGregor's karma for him. I can't disagree with that.
I also agree entirely. That's when Poirier called out that kid that has cancer in the crowd and was like, "You're the real fighter." That's what UFC needs right now. I don't need a fucking rich asshole talking shit that he can't back up, apparently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need a guy like fucking Poirier who actually gives a fuck about other human beings. You know what I mean? A little bit more altruistic. You know what I mean? Poirier, I'm looking forward to Poirier mopping the floor with the current fucking champion. That's what I'm looking for.
Oliveira, right?
Oliveira.
That would be a good fight.
It's going to be a good fight, and I'm going to call it right now. My prediction, regardless of when this fight happens, I predict Poirier will fucking win and become the next lightweight champion.
Oh yeah, it's in due time. Poirier is coming into his own right now. And then we also we have to do this quick. Holy shit! We also had Tuivasa defeating Greg Hardy.
I did call that one. I apologize, my friend. I did call that.
And like I said last week, I'm a Greg Hardy fan. I love his story. I love his style. Tough. 2 tough guys. And let me tell you, Iuvasa came out to Spice Girls too. Wannabe.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this motherfucker came out to a Spice Girls song and knocked the fuck out a former NFL athlete. I mean, we're talking about hit after hit. Greg Hardy was winning the fight. Okay, that's my opinion. He was winning that fight.
I don't disagree with that.
And then all of a sudden, Iuvasa came out, boom, and dropped Hardy like a fucking sack of potatoes.
It only takes one, homie. And that's exactly why I called Tuivasa to win that fight, because it was first round, and it was I believe with a minute left.
It was heavy.
7.
They were swinging.
Yeah. It was a good fight all the way up to that point, but it's in a heavyweight fight. I mean, bro, it only takes one.
It takes one hit. And let me tell you, my favorite fight of the night was Wonder Boy versus Burns.
That was my trifecta breaker. And Wonder Boy,
man,
he fought a good fight, but he really disappointed me. Wonder Boy, again, that is probably the last time I will bet on Wonder Boy because. Hey, what's up, Alex?
Alex, what's up, my brother? Yeah, it's it's very interesting, because Wonder Boy,
What was that jersey thing I said with Alex and Johnny? What was that?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Great fight. And actually, you guys are right in time because we are going to play a game. It's going to be called Sex Position or Gamer Tag.
Oh God!
Now
let me guess. I'm the one playing this game, right?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, you're gonna see this, and because we got to have our things. You know, that's a special one. If he has the answer right, you're going to hear this.
Okay.
If he has it wrong, you may either hear this.
My detector test determined that was a lie.
Or, all right. There are no rules to this game. The only rule of the game is to get it right. Sex position or gamer tag. It took me about a week and a half to find all these names. I got a review of the game and I was crying. What?
Yes, Francesca said.
Oh yeah. All right. We're gonna mix this up. All right.
Right, all right.
All right. Number one. The first one is Pubes Peep Show.
Pubes Peep Show?
Yes.
That's got to be a fucking gamer tag. That has
Pubes Peep Show is a sex position.
What is the sex? Are you also going to tell me what the actual sex position is?
Some of them. Some of them.
What is a pubes peep show? What does that mean?
A pubes peep show is when you get it's a oral position, and it's apparently it coincides with you not shaving your pubes and getting oral. So that's the peep show.
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be like where you like wear like a bathing suit or something, and like you got like the pubes hanging out or something, you know.
That's actually good. I'm actually kind of afraid because I told my wife that I'm afraid I'm going to be giving you ideas for some of these.
Oh, guaranteed you are.
Yeah.
I'm the freakiest of freaks, dude. I give zero shits in the bed.
Alexander Lear says what? Number 2. Frantic teabag.
That's again okay. That's got to be a sex position.
Frantic teabag is a gamer tag.
Yeah, man, what the fuck? Like 0 for 2 right now.
You are 0 for 2 right now, man. 0 for 2.
Out right now. God damn it, Frantic. God damn it.
I hear my wife cracking up in the kitchen. Number 3. The back-breaking boner.
That's got to be a sex position.
Jay, you are 1 for 2, man. You are 1 for 2.
1 for 3. 1 for 3.
1 for 3. 1 for 3. All right. The next one is Tiger Style.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that could definitely be both. This one's a flip of a coin. This could be both. I'm gonna flip the coin and I'm gonna say gamer tag.
It's actually both.
Give me a fucking trick question.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It won't be the only one either. Shameless squirts.
I'm gonna just because of how it sounds. I'm gonna. This could be both, but I'm gonna say gamer tag because somebody's probably trying to be funny. Yeah, somebody's trying to be funny.
Now, guys, I want you to know: do not write to these gamer tags.
Yeah, we're not trying to put people on blast. Yeah. Just have fun with this shit.
The next one is say hi to the brown eye.
God damn it. Fucking let's do that's gonna be sex position. Yeah, Joe. Joe posted I already did.
There you go. So what is it? It's 3 wrong, 2 right?
I want to say no, I think I flipped that. I think I've gotten 2 wrong and I've got like last 3 or 4 right, so
what's next? Blood fart.
Blood fart, that's a fucking sex position. No, strike that. That's a gamer tag.
Because you said both. It is both.
Gamer tag.
You know, but it is both. Yeah, it's actually what's funny is that's the first one I found. Alex, my God.
My God.
Here comes my favorite one. Bulge Ultra.
Bulge Ultra. That's going to be a gamer tag. That's going to be a gamer tag.
Yes, it is.
Some of these position gamer tags are just like when you just have completely forgotten the face of God, and you're like just wallowing in the darkness, you know, of like some dank ass freaking like, you know, cesspool of a fucking dive bar.
Joe says Joe says my anus is bleeding.
My anus is bleeding.
Yeah,
you ever see like the fucking internet cartoons like the spoon is too big?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh
freaking,
man.
Like when you're just like, it's the end of the night. It's 2:00 in the morning. You're hammered, but at the end of the bar is just a warm body, and you get to take them back to the hotel room and just do literally whatever the fuck you want with them. Like that's all of these. Like, come on back to the hotel room, little lady. I'm gonna give you the blood fart. You know? Like,
Hey, how much for a blood fart? It sounds like a
yeah.
you know.
Can I give you $50 extra for the tenacious tea bag? You know, like.
Oh man. The next one. Nightshade.
Nightshade?
Nightshade.
Nightshade. I'm gonna go gamer tag on that one. Could be wrong. There we go.
That's it.
There we go.
Francesca, I hope you're keeping score. I hear her. I hear her fucking cracking a rib in the kitchen right now. So these last ones,
Okay.
are the best ones.
Okay.
I may not be able to get into some of them because they are highly controversial, but
I don't care.
you're gonna like these ones. The next one is called Simba.
Simba, that's a sex position.
I feel like you know this one. I feel like you know this one.
Why don't you tell our listening audience what the fuck a Simba is?
Oh man, so guys, so the Simba, you know, all I'm gonna say is that you know the scene in Simba when he's spreading the dirt across his forehead. We'll switch the dirt with a bodily fluid and, you know, call it a day.
Circle, the circle of life.
This one actually is actually pretty good, real funny. Screw-unicorn.
Screw-unicorn. That is going to be a gamer tag. Fuck you. What's the screw? Well, okay, what's the screw-unicorn?
Guys, you're gonna have to Google that one.
Oh, really? John's getting scared. Everybody hear that? John's
Yeah.
getting scared.
The next one
Don't
is
be scared, dude. Don't be scared, John. Jesus hates a pussy, dude.
all right. The next one is called the San Francisco bird feeder.
That is definitely a sex position.
Oh shit!
Thank you.
And you know, I'm assuming you know what that one
You
is.
Whether I do or don't, you're gonna have to tell the audience.
Oh shit! The San Francisco bird feeder is when someone hits a home run inside someone's ballpark, and they suck it out of the ballpark. Yeah.
I love that it's not the definition of the sex act. It's you trying to be polite about it. It's what's making me laugh, dude. You're like trying to be fucking polite about this shit. It's like, dude, like these are like sexual acts that, like, if they weren't consensual, they would be like fucking like it'd be like a fucking sex crime.
You know probably would.
And hearing you try to describe them in a polite way is fucking hilarious.
Joe Post said that's a snowball for the gays, or so I'm told.
Snowball, yeah. They used a snowball is usually when if somebody receives a load in their mouth and then you kiss them on the mouth, that's a snowball. That's a snowball.
We're gonna get shut down.
No, the fuck they're not. Like, nobody's gonna shut us down.
All right.
We're talking. Joe Rogan talks about this shit all the fucking time.
That's true.
Like, we're fine. We're fine. Trust me, we're fine. John, you got to come out of that vanilla shell, homie. You got to come out of that vanilla
I know. All right, so fuck it. I'll tell you what the screw in the corn is. The screw in the corn is when two lesbians strap on 2 dildos on their foreheads and crawl and attempt to screw each other.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Absolutely.
Yeah, my let me tell you, my wife was crying when she heard this stuff. We got 4 more. The next one is called Chunky Facial.
Ooh, that's gonna be a sex act. Son of a bitch.
That is a gamer tag.
I could see that being a sex act.
I could too. That's like a smegma thing, like a smegma facial. Ugh.
Absolutely.
The next one is called the Alabama Hot Pocket.
That is definitely a sex act. I already know what that is.
I forgot what that one was, but I remember what that one is. Yeah, we're not talking about that one.
Yeah, you need to talk about that one. You definitely don't need to be. That's one that I'll say you don't need to talk about. Like,
the next one is ballistic pig whistle.
That's going to be a gamer tag. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And last but not least, Space Dock Fondue.
Sex act. Thank you.
And baby, what's the final score on that?
What's the final score? How'd I do?
What's the final score? She probably has like a 4-second delay. Let's see. This is coming. I'm going to save this in my documents. SP or GT?
Waiting on the score, waiting on my score, waiting on my score, score.
Drum rolls.
Drum roll, please.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Is she making cake?
Oh. The suspense is killing us. Is it not, Alex? Is it not? The suspense is killing us. Oh. Yeah, so while John's gone, I'll fill a couple of seconds here.
She's washing dishes, yeah.
So go ahead.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So you got 4 wrong out of 17.
Oh shit. That's 13 and 4?
That's
right.
Not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. And you know what? We may go a little bit over our time today. We still got a couple more things to talk about, but hey, that's a game. I am proud to say that I created it. I got the idea from listening to an Andy Cohen show of a game called the game that he played was called Are They a Scientologist or Not? So I figured, what can I bring into the gaming world that would be funny, borderline controversial, and engaging?
Absolutely.
And I thought, what was more better than knowing if it's a sex position or a gamer tag?
and thankfully for you, your podcast partner is a complete fucking freak of nature. So it
all works. It all works.
The fact that I went 13 for 17 freaking I think says it all. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Now we don't have much military news, but I think I just want to talk about some tea real quick before we get to the good gaming news. Don't want to get too much into this, but if you guys haven't been looking into it, the Army is investigating Fort Eustis officer for a cheating scandal. Lieutenant Colonel Kane Manzer has been caught being a shitbag to his wife of 18 years, cheating with multiple women, forging deployment paperwork, lying about him receiving a Silver Star, and claiming that one of his kids has passed away.
Right. So this dude's like a shitbag on top of a shitbag, and sucks to suck, nerd. Here's my very short rant, and I'll also try to like put my foot a little bit in my mouth so I don't go too far because I am technically still active duty,
Yeah.
right? I'm currently sitting at less than a month before I go on terminal leave, so I will try not to be too abrasive in my comments here because this is still an ongoing investigation. However, here's what I will say, especially coming from an enlisted soldier's background, meaning that I'm not an officer, I'm a non-commissioned officer. I'm enlisted, right? I'm one of the plebes that didn't have a fucking college degree when I joined, right? So I am sick to fucking death of being enlisted and having enlisted soldiers, being in charge of enlisted soldiers, and we are held to this like razor thin fucking standard of like, you have to do things this way. If you don't, we're gonna swing the hammer at you. We're gonna nail you to the wall, right? And these officers, and this is not for all officers in the Army or the military at large. This is just in general. When officers get in trouble, they kind of tend to get a slap on the wrist and they just go away quietly. Some of them do lose their careers. It does happen, deservingly so, obviously. But there's a lot of officers, when they make it to a certain number of years in service, they'll get a slap on the wrist. They go away quietly, but they still get pension, their retirement. This guy's a lieutenant colonel in the Army, which means he probably already has close to, if not 20 years in service. Okay, so the real story is going to be when everything is said and done. Is this guy going to get to go home with his retirement? Even if they bump him down a pay grade, is he going to be able to retire at the rank of major? You know, and that's the shit. That's the shit that disgusts me because I've lost soldiers out of my formation for much lesser offenses. And they got kicked the fuck out. Yeah. They got kicked to the curb, and the Army said, fuck you, and kicked them to the curb. And they just had to go back to fucking the world like that, basically. You know what I mean? And I want to see what the fucking Army does to this fucking cocksucker because it's bullshit when guys like this abuse their power, their authority. He fucking lied about having a fucking silver star. You know, he carried on with not just one, but fucking multiple affairs. This dude was like setting up franchises. To quote one of my favorite movies, Fight Club, this motherfucker was setting up franchises around the fucking country with other women, you know, and what a fucking dirtbag.
He bought a title.
I don't care if you're an officer or not. I don't care if you're an officer or enlisted or whatever. You're a fucking dirtbag. If you're a civilian and you do the same shit, you're a fucking dirtbag. Fuck you. You know, like fuck you for stringing people along emotionally like that.
Absolutely.
How dare you? How dare you? You know, if you got some weird like polygamous or polyamorous thing going on, like, not my business. You know what I'm saying? But fuck you for stringing people along emotionally and not telling them the truth.
Yeah, and,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
and he got one of them he got one of them pregnant. You know, was completely hit.
He did.
You know, and you know,
setting up franchise. I told you, that's exactly what he was setting up franchise.
It's so disgusting, you know, and yeah, it was no secret that him and his wife were having issues, but he was still married. He, you know, he's so fucking wrong. 18 years is not, you know, that's not new. You know, you've been with someone for 18 years. I've been with my wife. Yeah. We're going into 16 years now. 16, 17 years now. You know, that's a long time. You know, you don't.
You gotta be honest with your partner. If things are, you know, and this is especially coming from the perspective of being twice divorced. You know, I'm a very stereotypical Army NCO right now. You know, I've got 2 divorces under my belt, and honesty and communication is paramount. If you're wanting to move on, okay, fine, so be it. I don't care if you're male, female, whatever. You want to move on, you need to talk to your partner first and be like, you know what, I'm done. We got to call this. We got to call this. We'll make it work somehow, but I'm done. This motherfucker is just going behind everybody's back and setting up fucking franchises and making up bullshit stories like I got a fucking silver star. You know, he's obviously going in with no protection and fucking like shooting expert on the fucking range because he got somebody else fucking pregnant.
Also claims to have a Purple Heart.
Yeah, fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah,
like straight up.
So I mean, the whole point of talking about this is pretty much to spread awareness because it's important to identify shitbags. We've been through this. We've been through this before. We have no issue letting the people know, hey, look out for this motherfucker. He's a piece of shit. And because the army, first off, doesn't take kindly to extramarital affairs.
No, they don't.
They
I
eat-
went. I got real quick, and I
Yeah.
don't mean to interrupt. Apologize.
No, no.
I went years. And this is up to recently. I went fucking years without so much as a kiss on the lips from a member of the opposite sex, because I fear the Army's fucking policy on extramarital affairs. So even though my marriage was over in like December of 2016, my divorce wasn't final till January of 2020.
Okay.
Okay, I kept it in my fucking pants. Okay,
That's
I
good.
kept it in my
Respect.
pants for 3 fucking years. I kept it in my pants. Okay, so like, let's not fucking pretend that you can do it. Okay, it's not hard to. You just gotta fucking bite down a little bit and jerk off a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
but I went fucking years without so much as a touch from the opposite sex, if you can imagine. As an adult male, if I can do that shit, somebody else fucking can. If your marriage fucking sucks or your relationship sucks, I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you need to fucking be honest with people, okay, and quit being a fucking pussy. You know what I mean? Fucking jerk off, flick your bean, do whatever you got to do, okay, until the fucking shit's
Yep.
done.
Now you have a
Especially if
kid.
you're serving.
Now you have another kid.
Yeah, don't sit there fucking making more cream pies than a fucking little Debbie factory.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Fucking like spreading the seed everywhere,
Yep.
like you fucking shitbag. Like fuck you.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean? Like
on,
come on,
on
man.
top of the affair, the forged documents, this guy's fucked. This guy's
Oh,
fucked.
completely.
And I
Hot
think,
red-
and before
red
we get to
fucking-
the next subject, the most satisfying thing about this is that the wife and the woman he was having an affair with got together, looked through all
Oh.
his finances, and found that there was more women, and so that everything keeps on going for it. But everything,
Yeah, because it wasn't only two. There wasn't only two. There were more. There was more than just the two.
yeah,
Like this,
so
this dude
he's
was literally setting up franchises. Literally setting up franchises.
meeting parents and all that stuff. So I'm not even going to call you Lieutenant Colonel, whatever the fuck you are. Kane Man, sir, you are on the fucking list. You are on the list, my friend. And now on to the good stuff. The last
Please,
thing,
let's-
the last thing I do want to talk about today is swatting, but I do want to get into something real quick. I was watching Loki, and if you guys haven't watched it, I said this a couple episodes ago. Loki is the best Marvel show out there right now. I said it before it came out, and I'm saying it now. It's the best. With saying that, I'm not going to talk about the show, but I'm going to talk about something that was seen in the show, and that was a Polybius arcade cabinet.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, here.
So the
I
Polybius,
know where you're going.
so I saw the Polybius arcade cabinet, and I'm just like, I forgot about that thing. And if you guys don't know the story about Polybius, it is a wild, it's a wild story. Some people think it's a myth. Some people think it's real. Some documents that I have found myself has shown that 16 of them are in government custody and one is missing, which is very interesting. But
Right.
quick history about it. The arcade came out in 1981. Now, for those who know the history of arcade games, arcade cabinets weren't really a thing until 1984.
Right.
So 1981, this was considered probably the first arcade cabinet ever made, possibly. And in Portland,
What was the game allegedly about? Because I know there's like a whole mythos around Polybius.
so there was no.
tell me
So
what's the
from,
game's supposed to be.
So as I'm still deep diving into this, I don't think there was an actual story to the game. It was, because during that time we had games like Galaga, we had these like weird graphic.
Space Invaders, Free Pac-Man.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
we're
the early days of arcade gaming.
yeah, so
basically.
we're looking at something like that. But the whole thing, so in Portland, Oregon, is said where most of these cabinets were seen, and apparently Portland, Oregon, was a big market for newer games, new arcade games for people to test out if they like it and whatnot. So apparently Polybius made its debut in Portland, Oregon, and people were playing it. Shortly after, people were dying people were getting sick because they were getting seizures. They were,
Mythos, yeah.
yeah, pretty much the things that we see in games like GTA, where it says, oh, there's flashing and
Flash lights. If you have light sensitivity and freaking whatever, like
Yes.
beware because it might cause you a seizure or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so apparently this game was doing this to all these people. And all of a sudden, the Men in Black came. And what's really funny about all this is that the Men in Black was actually inspired by a comic book, which was inspired, from what I'm reading, was inspired by the Polybius game of Men in Black coming in, taking files electronically from the machine and then leaving, and no one knowing what they were. So
Right.
there's a whole wild connection to this. And
By the way, everything John is saying right now is considered conspiracy theory, and it's not exactly hardcore documented
Yeah.
or proved. Like, let's take everything with this Polybius game we're talking about. Take everything with a big giant grain of salt because none of this has been factually proven beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, so be careful with what we're saying here right now. Like, this is
Absolutely.
part of the mythos behind this game.
Yeah,
So.
and there were yeah, so the game apparently the arcades disappeared. They never to be found. And
Right.
people were talking about it, and people were just like, oh no, it was never real. But then a man named Stephen Roach wrote in the message board and was talking about he was a developer for the company Sinislotion. Now Sinislotion is translated to memory deletion or sensory deletion,
Okay.
which is very interesting. Why they would name a company after that, especially with the mythos of the game being this way. And so this Stephen Roach guy was saying that he worked with a couple engineers on making Sinislotion and making this game, and da 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 da. They worked really hard on it, and it wasn't approved and blah blah blah. So a reporter who actually deep dove more found out that the Stephen Roach guy was actually he was trafficking children and he was abusing people. And
Jesus.
so it's still up in the air. A lot of people believe that he has nothing to do with Polybius,
Right.
which obviously it could be possible. But then another man started writing. He started saying, and to me this was more of like probably the most honest description ever, where he talks about the creation of Sinislotion and says that the game, it just it was just a game that they created and it just didn't make it. That's just what it was. And he said there's no need to make it more than what it is. It's just that is what it was. It was just a test and that's it.
The game became bigger in its mythos than it probably ever was as a real thing. And actually this story and conspiracy theory about this particular arcade game goes so far back that there is an early in some of the early seasons. I don't remember exactly which season and episode, but I could probably look it up real quick. But this was one of the in-jokes in a Simpsons episode in the 90s. So like this mythos and about this game goes so far back that the Simpsons actually made a joke about it in the 90s. Give me 1 second, John. I'm going to find you.
Oh yeah,
I'm going to find which episode it was on The Simpsons.
Yep. I read this comment from Alex. Jane Silent Bob paid homage to something like this with an episode in their animated series about having an arcade that was secretly recruiting tool for manual labor on a secret project. And that's actually very interesting too, because I actually read that Polybius, that one of the conspiracy theories surrounding Polybius was that the game was made by the FBI in order to fuck with people's heads, in order to recruit what would you call, like, good qualified soldiers for the future. So it's very interesting that you bring that up, Alex. Smoke.
Well, okay, I was wrong. Polybius made its appearance in The Simpsons in 2006. So I was wrong about that. So it was season 18. So I was way off on that one. I was way fucking off on that one.
2006 was a lifetime ago, so it's still, for some that's still early, but for people like
15.
For people like
but
us,
that was yeah, but it was post internet though. I thought it was a joke in the 90s, but I was way off on that. So it was post internet. It was post internet. Can you see Artie?
There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Artie the Bird.
Welcome, Artie the Bird.
Yes, sir. Oh man, so yeah, very very interesting stuff. This is honestly probably the only information what I just told you about Polybius. It's very interesting. Is the game real? No one fucking knows.
No one fucking knows.
All
No
their-
one, no one has seen a working copy
Exactly.
of
Exactly.
this game ever.
The only thing that there is a
that's the only
screenshot.
part of- that is like the only part of this story that's indisputable. That nobody has ever seen an actual working, functioning like copy of this game. No one. That is the only part of this story that's indisputable. Everything else is he said, she said, friend of a friend. I used to see it all the time in this one arcade I went to in 1983. Whatever. It's all fucking hearsay.
Yep.
Except the fact that nobody has ever seen a working copy of this game at least since the fucking early to mid 80s. So if it ever did exist, which it very well it might have existed. There's other games that are lost out there. There are other This is not the only arcade game that is considered lost.
Yeah, this one just seems to be the one that.
This one grew its
Created
own
a
fucking
lore.
story. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
there are other lost arcade games out there. This
And
is not the only one.
Alex Lear says, "As all conspiracies are ingrained in some truth." Yes, they are. In some
they are.
truth, they are. So they're. I mean, the only thing physically that they have is a picture of the main title, which in all essences, since 1981, could have been photoshopped because you could still use MS Paint during that time. On top of that, they have pictures of arcade cabinets, possibly photoshopped again, and
Possibly. Yeah, but
pictures.
the earliest Photoshop I saw of Polybius on the internet probably would have been, I'm going to say ballpark, like 06,
Yeah,
05, 06.
yeah.
Back then, Photoshopping, some people did a good job, but it was usually pretty easy to see. It was usually pretty easy to see that it was Photoshopped.
Yep. And for those who aren't familiar with graphic arts, back in the day, black and white was and taking copies on top of copies was another way to falsify things to make them look real, which is actually funny because they do the same thing in Loki with the title screen. They actually have the word Loki reprinted as if it was put through a copy machine. So it's very interesting how all this is kind of coming together. But if you guys want more information on Polybius, I mean, just do a Google search. There's some documentaries on it. It's a very interesting story. But if you had to ask me,
the fact that there's a whole documentary on it. you know?
Yeah. And if you ask me, one side of me wants to say, yeah, it was real. But the other side of me wants to be like, this was overhyped. But it's still a very, very, very interesting story.
Fascinating story.
And another thing to add in 2016, a game called Polybius came out for the PlayStation Store. But no one thinks that it has anything to do with it. But
No, they were just marketing off the hype.
Yeah, we have some sad news. Dog Meat from Fallout 4 has passed away a couple weeks ago.
I got a good buddy of mine that actually named his dog Dog Meat after that game.
Yep, there you go. And it's funny too because I actually I'm a huge Fallout fan. I've no secret. I love Fallout, and seeing Dog Meat coming into Fallout 4 was probably one of the coolest things in the game. But what I didn't know that I read about when Dog Meat, whose real name is River, when she passed on. They used to walk her around the Bethesda studios, and she would wander around aimlessly by herself, and that sometimes she would go around the studios and find like a rock or a bone or a lost something, a random thing, and bring it back. And they were just like, we should put this in the game. So they used River and her personal traits as a way to interact with the game, and it made the game so much more better with having the dog as your companion, because the dog will fight for you, the dog eats, the dog steals stuff for you, finds stuff for you, and it's very sad that we lost such an icon in the gaming world. On top of this, the passing of River affected Xbox and Bethesda so much that they made a $10,000 donation to the Montgomery County Humane Society. You know,
That's awesome. Good.
good on Xbox. Rest in peace, River. It's a sad thing. A dog is a man's best friend, as we all know, and it really showed that in Fallout 4. So our thoughts are with the owner, who took care of River and Bethesda and Xbox. And I thank you for giving us a new way to play. Thank you for River / Dogme for giving us a new way to enjoy a post-apocalyptic world.
Paranoman, thank you very much for joining us from Fort Knox, beautiful Fort Knox.
Paranoman, what's up, man?
Hope you're enjoying your Sunday morning.
Fort Knox.
Good to see you.
Fort Knox.
Fort Knox.
Oh,
yeah, Fort Knox.
Fort Knox.
Shit.
All right.
See you,
Good to see you. The Guardian of the Gold. Thank you for coming, man. We appreciate you. The next, before we get to our main story, we have
What the fuck are you doing, dude? What the fuck are you doing in Fort Knox, dude?
Said Jay, it's Ian, bro. Why is his name?
Yeah. What are you doing in Fort Knox, man? That's my buddy Ian.
He changed his name to Para. Hey, yeah. Para.
Yeah. What the fuck is he doing in fucking Fort Knox? Oh, he's gonna text me. All right.
OPSEC.
OPSEC.
So next thing we have here, I'm going to put it up on the screen for every one of you guys to see. Xbox Game Pass. They put out a tweet, kind of. So the tweet says from Xbox, look at this photograph. It's one of our cloud gaming ads. Do you see what's in those hands? It's a controller from it's a rhyme. Look. They're doing a Nickelback song. Fuck me. Look at this photograph. It's one of our cloud gaming ads. Do you see what's in those hands? It's a controller from a different brand.
Oh my God.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you can play, and let me look. I was hobgoblin over the Xbox Game Cloud last week. All right,
you really were. You were nuts, dude. You were kind of on its nuts.
I fucking love the Xbox Game Cloud. Okay, and now you can play the Game Cloud with your PlayStation controller. But here's the question: is this a fuck you to Sony? Like, haha, look what we can do, or is this hey, we can do this together, man. We don't need to be separate. But
I don't know, dude. Cause, okay. Going along with our conversation last week, I want to say holy shit because we've been talking nonstop about how Sony has not really brought anything fucking new to the table. And
I actually have something to talk to you about that too once we're done with this.
This is making me wonder if they're not about to fucking. I don't want to say they're going to join forces because I don't think either of these companies are going to do that. Sony has dominated the video game market since the PS2 came out. Dominated.
Yes.
The video game market dominated like badly. But I think Xbox is going in the way of the future, and Sony is pulling back a little bit. And I'm wondering if they're not going to start working a little bit more together, especially with the advent of cross-platform and stuff. I'm wondering if Sony is not pulling back a little bit while Xbox takes the next step forward. Like,
yeah,
go ahead.
One interesting thing here, Alex says, I don't know, you can get Xbox-style controllers for PlayStation. Yes, you can by Scuff Gaming.
Xbox style, not actual Xbox controllers.
But here's also another thing, because people on Twitter are saying playing Xbox games with a PlayStation controller is a nice combination because Xbox has the better games and PlayStation has the better hardware. And in some cases, some people would agree with that, some people would disagree with that. You've regularly played PlayStation and now you're playing Xbox, what controller do you find more comfortable?
Me personally?
Yes.
Honestly, this last month after having played both, neither. They're both about the same to me.
Okay.
I honestly don't like. They're both the same. You have four buttons, two triggers on each side. Like the right button and the right trigger, right. Left button, left trigger. They both have that. You have your directional pad, and you have your options and your start button. I mean, they both literally have the same fucking thing. Like I don't.
It's just a little like they switch some of the things.
This is gonna be Jay being the casual gamer that I am. Like I don't give a fuck. Like they're both the fucking same to me. They have the same exact button scheme. So like once the Xbox controller is a little bit fatter, the PlayStation controller is a little bit skinnier. Like I like. There's sometimes I like a little bit of meat on my bones, and there's sometimes I like to go fucking skinny. Big fucking deal, right? Like Jay likes the fucking pussy, right? So
yeah, there you go.
I don't give a fuck.
And I'm actually surprised to see this. So Alex says it seems like Sony is going more towards entertainment, and Xbox is going more towards gaming. I do agree with that. As Microsoft has so many, especially for disabled individuals.
Sony was doing that years ago with the PS2 and the PS3. They were marketing more of a multi-platform entertainment system versus a hardcore game device. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The PS2 was one of the original. You know, I remember for the original Xbox, you had to get a separate device to play DVDs in it.
Yes.
The PS2, the way it came out of the box,
already played DVDs.
You can play DVDs and Blu-rays. Like I remember that shit vividly. So I mean, that's like you're talking. Christ, when was the PS2? Fucking like 2002, 2003. That was almost 20 years ago when that shit came out.
I think it was earlier than that.
2001 maybe 2001. Like
2000, March 4th, 2000.
There you go. Fresh out of the box in 2000, literally 20 years ago, 2 decades ago, you could play DVDs and fucking Blu-rays. But the original Xbox, you had to get a little separate device and plug it into one of the controller ports.
And it looked, look, the PlayStation 2 looked fucking cool. It looked cool. Yeah. It looked cool. It looked cool.
It is the greatest. It is the highest selling console of all time in history.
Yes.
By far. By far. Not just by a little bit. By fucking far.
Yeah. So
by fucking far.
I'm actually surprised to see this. Alexander Lear. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. He says that you prefer the Xbox controller. You like the triggers more from Xbox, which is interesting to me because you are a passionate PlayStation player. Deshaun Meyer says PlayStation is more ergonomic, which is true. The PlayStation remote does have ergonomic features in it, which still tends to be comfortable no matter how.
I got to get a refill. I'll be right back.
Yep, go fill up your battery. And I love PlayStation. It's weird that the PS5 has better hardware for rendering and whatnot, considering where they're going. Yes, and this is true. And the PlayStation 5, they're so the thing is amazing. It's even been proven that the PlayStation competes with the Xbox Series X as far as the chip goes. It's not a bad console. It's not at all. But the problem is that for some odd reason, PlayStation seems to be holding back, and I know this wasn't part of the lineup, but I have to get into this. On Thursday, PlayStation finally did their state of play.
Oh, okay, and what did they say?
The only thing that they showed that they had was Deathloop. The game doesn't even look good. As far as that, they did. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing that pisses me off. You have, and like again, I hate the fact that I'm talking shit about Sony, and I hate it, and it's not easy for me, and I'll tell you why.
We've been doing it for weeks now.
And we look. I'm an Xbox guy, okay? We know this. I'm diehard Xbox all the way, but I hate that we're in an age of no competition. There is this year there has been no competition. That's
my big argument against the fucking UFC, man. Like I that's how I feel about UFC right now. It's like there's no competition, so they're just fucking their fighters over and not paying anybody.
No, I have 3 games I'm going to say right now. 3 games that weren't there. That should have been there. 1, fuck. It just lost me. Horizon Forbidden West. One of the most anticipated games of a sequel. Nothing. Another game, God of War, was not shown at all. God of War is to me their placeholder. It's their standard, and there was nothing there,
Yep.
and it really, we are in an age where our games are getting better and better. They're getting better and better. And I give it, look, Sony has some of the greatest exclusives of all time. The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, you know,
Yep.
I don't need, you know, and I maybe it's just me wanting more from Sony because I like seeing the competition. But then again, Alex says they're going for entertainment, which makes so much sense too.
It does.
It makes a lot of sense too that they're you know because they have these exclusives and these exclusives are like movies.
What about a fucking? I forget what the sequel's called. It's a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, but it's like, what about a little bit of info on that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and all there was.
That's another PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and we're learning these things outside of these panels. Now, Sony, and I'm talking to you, Sony, if you were at E3 or if you were in conjecture with the rest of them, how come you weren't there? You know, and this is me.
bitch.
This is
bitch.
yeah.
For you.
This is me.
We called you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
We told you we told you what fucking time you and your fucking boys didn't fucking show up.
Yeah.
So what the fuck now?
And this is me being as like non-biased as I could because we're gamers, you know? All in all, at the end of the day, we're gamers and we want the best for gamers. You know,
Agreed.
Wouldn't you want your boys who have these exclusives on PlayStation to have, you know, something to be excited for? Because shit, if Call of Duty,
You would think.
Call of Duty should have been revealed at State of Play with their contract that they have with Sony, and
Agreed.
you know, just the fact that Call of Duty was not there, and it's just we need to do better. We need to do better. Not
we, fucking Sony. Sony needs to do better. Not
Yeah.
we. This we made no mistakes here.
That's
Xbox
true.
made no mistakes. Xbox made no mistakes here. Fucking Sony needs to do better.
Yeah.
Like they need to be called out. It's like either shit or get off the fucking pot.
Yeah, I just personally think that they should be releasing this stuff so that the PlayStation people could be like, haha, fuck you, look what we got. That's what I want. I want that. I want someone
Never
to,
happened.
you know, and it doesn't happen anymore. So, you know,
If it happens, I mean, it'd be great if it happened, but it ain't. The fact that it hasn't happened yet, and I see Alex's comment here where he says the PS5 is Sony's experiment, and he feels that it's their pivot point to see where they're going to go in the future. And I don't disagree with that because Xbox is fucking eating their lunch right now. Like Microsoft is eating Sony's lunch in the gaming department right now.
they're probably just thinking, what can we do? Because there is news that PlayStation did buy a PC developer company.
So I saw that, but you know what? That don't mean a fucking thing. That could be a goddamn corporate fucking takeover. That don't mean shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't. That don't mean fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
So I'm hoping, you know, maybe I hope for 2021 to be a better year for gamers. It became a really good year for gamers, but I hope that 2022.
Bro, I got bad news for you, man. It's fucking July.
Yeah, that's
Why hasn't it been a good year for gamers so far? We're already halfway through the fucking
that's
year.
true.
We are already past the halfway mark in the fucking year. It has already not been a good year for gamers, which unless some fucking absolutely mind-blowing shit comes out in the next like 3 to 6 months, it's going to be a terrible year for gamers.
Yep.
And
Man.
and whatever comes out, it better be some fucking goddamn mind-blowing shit because this year has fucking sucked.
Yep.
We haven't had fucking news for how many episodes now? You know,
Yeah.
like actual like legitimate gaming news.
Yeah.
We haven't had shit to talk about on this podcast.
Even
for
E3,
fucking months.
even
Months.
E3, there wasn't that much to talk about.
sucked.
There was nothing to
It
talk
fucking
about.
sucked.
And this last
You and me sat there. We're like boring, like fucking for like 90% of the fucking whole like thing. It was lame.
Yep.
Lame.
And before
Like,
we get into swatting, Alex here says that's what we need. We need to make PC gaming accessible and have all titles available to everyone. I mean, look at Activision and Rockstar. Oh shit, he said the R word, Jay. He said the R
Really
word.
fucking R word, Alex. I'm not happy about that.
They have been writing.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
They have
Go
been
ahead,
writing
John.
the
Go ahead.
complacent success of Warzone and GTA Online. God fucking damn it! All right, this is exactly it. Okay, because you cannot buy a PC unless you're making the decision to pay rent, or if you want to buy a PC.
It's correct.
You know,
That's correct.
And
That is correct.
you're, the cheapest PC that I've been able to find, $1,500. Okay, that is someone's rent. That is a 1-bedroom apartment in New Jersey.
That's correct.
Okay,
That is correct.
it's
It's fucking garbage. So just call it what it is. It's fucking garbage.
It is
Garbage.
It is complete garbage. It is you know, and PC gaming is beautiful. It's beautiful.
I'm sure it is.
I
But
cannot.
Not everybody can fucking afford that shit.
I cannot stop fucking playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. And actually, shout out to Alex Lear for showing me that America's Army is back as a video game on the PC.
What?
Yeah, it's, you know, that we will, once I have some more stuff to talk about with that, we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, we're gonna our last segment. We're gonna talk about swatting. It's you know, this is
It's been going on for a while. It's been going on for a while.
Yeah,
It's nothing new.
I mean, this has been going around since Twitch TV used to be called Justin TV. You know, this is, and this is like a 20-year thing now. To start off, one, it's disgusting. Two, you could possibly ruin someone's life. Several people have been
Killed.
innocent. Some people have been innocently killed because of this too. What is stream sniping? That's a whole nother episode. Stream sniping. What is swatting? Swatting is when someone is streaming a video game or streaming whatever, and someone relatively smart finds a way to get your IP. Now, before I continue with this, there's several ways of them to get your IP. In certain video games and certain panels in your computer and in your console, it will your IP address will show up in your information. Now, if some programs and panels will actually give you the opportunity to hide your IP address, so things like this doesn't happen. You know, 'cause it's fucking serious. So, for example, I could be streaming and I could be looking up my internet connection on my PC, and let's say, because I normally stream one screen already, the whole screen's shown, so it'll show like my taskbar and stuff like that. So, if I click on my control panel and my IP address shows up, that means someone now has access to get my information, to figure out where I live, possibly where I work, pretty much anything. IP addresses are very, very dangerous, and if you don't have a VPN, I will admittedly say I do not use a VPN. I don't feel the need to use a VPN.
You're pretty honest guy, John. So I can understand why you would not necessarily feel the need to go that route. However, you will always hear your friendly neighborhood Jay recommend that if you are going to stream, especially if you stream if you share your stream to our DD214 gaming page, if you're a member of this community, this gaming community, if you're going to share your stream, I recommend that you use a VPN. And the reason I say that is for exactly the reason that Jonathan is about to enlighten us all on.
Yes.
So go ahead and continue, please.
So I'll tell you a story of one person not being innocently killed, but certain streamers. Recently, two streamers that I do watch, and I watch a lot of streaming because I like soaking in information. I like getting in news. And actually, some of the news that we're going to be getting into next week is going to deal with a lot of the esports teams, which is going to be a nice addition into our news cycle. So one streamer, two streamers, one of them goes by Summit1G, and another one named XQC. We're both streaming. They're playing their games. The XQC chat, you hear ba 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 ba. You hear the door, and then you hear put your hands up, Following protocol, you see the streamer put his hands up and he gets up off the thing, and the camera is still rolling. Now remember, when these things happen, 90% of the time the camera is still rolling, so there's always evidence of what's going on. Sometimes the camera is facing a specific direction where you could see everything. Sometimes that streamer may be by his wall and everything happens behind the camera.
Right.
The important thing is to listen to everything, and how XQC, the streamer, was very, very cooperative. Why wouldn't you be in the first place?
If you got guns pulled on you and you have no weapon of your own, you better do what you're told. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and if you do have a weapon, don't pull that shit out, because it's just going to look even worse.
Don't be fucking stupid, because I'll tell you right now, I've had guns pulled on me like more than once, put it that way, in life. It's not fucking fun. It's not fucking cool. And all that Hollywood bullshit you see in the fucking movies goes out the fucking window.
Yeah.
You're literally staring down the barrel of a fucking firearm. You will fucking die. If you act stupid, you will fucking die.
Yep.
So don't ever be fucking stupid in that situation, please.
And Alex Lear, you're right. This is gaming OPSEC.
Getting OPSEC. That's right.
This is exactly what it is.
Exactly why I use a VPN. It's exactly why I use a VPN.
And so if you go into some games, like for example, Call of Duty, they have a whole section in your options. They have it's like a streaming status or streaming safety, and the same thing with Forza Horizon, where one, it'll change the name of the gamer tags of the people that you're playing with, and two, your IP address will not be shown. This is very, very important. Now, with some people, like some of these hackers, what they'll do, I don't know. I don't understand the whole gist of getting information through an IP address. But if they're able to get your address and be able to send the SWAT team to your house,
pinpoint your IP. Okay, so your IP address is basically very similar to your street address. And the more digits they get out of your IP address, it homes in your location of basically your router. It's your modem and your router. And it homes in the fucking location within fucking 10 to fucking 25 meters.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're in a house or just like, say, an apartment complex, if you have that location down to 10 or 25 meters, you know which fucking portion of, the geographic area that person is in. That's how, and then they fucking cross-reference that with, like, say, like Google Maps. You can put in like a north-south like grid coordinate, and then it's like, oh, there's a fucking house on this street within 10 to 25 meters, and it's like that, like this IP address is coming from this little circle right here. Like, no shit, no shit. It's got to be that house. Yeah. So then they fucking call the cops and they say like, hey, I saw a dude kidnap somebody, and they fucking their van parked in the fucking driveway at this address. And the reason it's called swatting is because they'll accuse people of committing crimes. Basically, Artie, get the fuck off this computer! Oh my god! Holy shit! He's fucking my shit up like bad. They'll accuse people of crimes that basically get the SWAT team called. Yeah, you're being a dick. Stop.
And obviously we all know the SWAT team. They're not going to knock on your door nice. They're not going to ring your bell. They're not coming in calm. They're coming in hot.
Right.
They're there to do their job. You're calling them in an emergency to have them assist someone in a traumatic situation, possibly, like you said, kidnapping, probably, or even worse. And let's not even forget, what if someone's stealing someone else's internet? What if someone is using someone else's Wi-Fi and they go to the wrong house?
What if somebody's using a VPN and they're using your fucking IP address?
Yeah,
that's how those fucking things work too. They bounce off fucking different fucking IP addresses. Like, this shit's fucking like, it's 2021, people. Fucking learn your goddamn technology and learn how it fucking works, because it can work for you or it can work fucking against you. But if it works against you, you're fucked. You are FUCK fucked. Okay, don't play. Don't fucking play.
Yeah,
that's why swatting is so dangerous, because people won't even fucking see this shit coming. They won't even see it coming. You know what I mean?
And you know what? Alexander says a really, really strong point. But what does it say about civilian intel? Police intel should not be getting tricked this way. It's kind of pathetic that there's no way to vet the intel. And he's absolutely right.
That is it, and that is a conversation for another day, because I have a big giant bone to pick with how law enforcement does their intelligence. Especially coming out of the Army, especially coming out of the Army infantry. We rely on intelligence to do our missions, right? And if the intelligence is fucking sketch or whatever, blah, 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 we don't go on the fucking mission.
Yeah.
It's that simple. In our great country, a lot of law enforcement in different areas of our states, because every state has different rules, they don't always rely on intelligence. They just fucking, roger that, we're fucking headed out. Time to go. And then we get these fucking incidents that happen where innocent people get killed, and it creates a civil disturbance, basically, because innocent people fucking die at the hands of law enforcement, and that's not cool. And I want to clarify, this is in no way, shape, or form a statement against any law enforcement entities.
Absolutely.
On behalf of like DD214 Gaming, this is just fucking reality that we're living in right now. This is just the fucking reality we're living in. Like, innocent people die at the hands of law enforcement. It creates a fucking big disturbance. And now we're talking about a whole nother area of bad shit. But it all started with some asshole getting pissed off because he fucking got beat at Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Fucking put in some fucking hack codes, finding somebody's IP address, and calling the fucking cops to, like, the house of the person that fucking whooped his ass.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, that's how it fucking starts. It's exactly how it fucking starts, and it's bullshit.
And what's even more bullshit is that there's a lot of people who will write to you after you kick their ass in the game, and then they'll be like, and then they'll threaten you. They'll threaten you and be like, "I have your IP address." Like, how fucking childish. Like, okay.
Roger.
In talking about this, another streamer, Summit1G, has been constantly getting swatted. One of the last videos I watched of him, he claimed that to be swatted 4 times in 1 week. So bad that he had to move his family out of the house.
Yeah, because he's so good and fucking whooping everybody's fucking ass.
Yeah, so he
like demolishing everybody.
Yeah, so he was talking about how the cops come to his house and now they're ringing his bell. Because now it's come to the point that they're coming to his house constantly.
They know.
And he says, I wanted to move, but now what happens if I move out of here? That maybe I may have a SWAT team that doesn't know who the hell I am, and they're going to come in here and probably do something according to what the intel was given from their mission.
Correct.
And he's
one of the lucky ones. He's one of the lucky ones.
That right there is admission of guilt and evidence. Wow, it's like witness protection instead it's gamer protection. It's very true, and it's so crazy that people. We live in the age of petty. We live in the age of the influencer and the age of petty. Everybody wants to. It's so stupid. The most important thing, guys. Again, we're bringing awareness to this. Hide your IP addresses. Safety is more important. A lot of us in this group, a lot of gamers are parents. A lot of these gamers try to find another way to make their lives better by becoming streamers. And some of them, like one streamer, shout out Cookie Johnster. I like that. He's Cookie Monster, but Cookie Johnster. His name is John. I think he's a veteran too. I got a great streamer. And when he first started streaming, he had a newborn baby, and he had his newborn baby every time he gamed on his chest.
Awesome.
These streamers have lives too, and and so do the SWAT team.
That's also true. Also true. Which it's not. I'm glad you made that distinction, because it's not just dangerous for the person getting swatted. It is also dangerous for the SWAT team.
Yes.
Because depending on which door they kick in, it might not be a happy day for them when somebody gets violently, like, their house, like, violently, like, barged into. It could be a bad day for the fucking police, too.
Yes.
And that's where, like, this is a shitty, dangerous situation all around over some petty-ass, dumb-ass fucking bullshit. It's petty and dumb to call the fucking cops, or even, like, it's not a joke. Like, you don't call the cops for a fucking joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, John. The way I was raised is like, you don't fucking dial 911 unless it is a legitimate, true blue,
absolutely,
emergency. You don't ever fucking call the cops. You call the cops if it's fucking life, limb, or eyesight.
Yeah.
Basically, like
if
somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna fucking get mangled, like, or you need like medical help immediately. But outside of that, you not fucking dial 911.
Everybody should know common sense. I mean, there was a whole book about it.
Yeah, but common sense ain't so fucking common though, is it?
No, and that's the sad part. And not we, but those idiots, stop being so angry. Stop finding a way to ruin someone's life, because now you're getting charged for it now. You will get charged for it, You will get charged, and you will be charged for probably manslaughter. And it's not involuntary because it's your fault that you called the SWAT team. You're ruining someone's life. You're probably traumatizing a young kid. What if that family has special needs children? What if there is so many layers and factors to this shit that it's not funny. It's not funny. And Alex Lear, I pranked a Chinese delivery once when I was 14, ordered food to my nemesis house, and that's the best thing, because they're still getting paid for the delivery no matter what. I'm just saying, okay?
True.
Listen, there's some things I would love to do to my enemies, but I would never swat them, and I think that goes for everybody. Nobody, like I can't. Fucking crazy.
You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the end. Before we get into our final thought, next Saturday, I will be joining the Veterans Affair. I will be joining the veterans at the VA Center in Lyons, New Jersey, to be assisting with the nightlife entertainment group. Or some veteran activities. I'm going to be talking to them. I'm going to talk to them, get a few interviews, show you guys what's going on next week. I wish that you could be there, Jay, but we have nothing but time. We have nothing but time, and that day will come.
There's always time until there's no more time.
Exactly. And as far as I learned, that comment's not supposed to hit till 2029, so
all right.
I'll be there next week, guys. We see you listening, we see you watching. Thank you for always being there for us. We are going to be in Kansas City. There is, I can't.
It's going to be August the 8th. August the 8th is going to be the joint podcast. It's going to be August the 8th.
Yes, and if any of you guys are near or around Kauffman Stadium on the 9th, let us know. Get some pictures or something. We're going to see the Yankee game. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'm excited for it. I've been watching so much fucking baseball, and that this series is going to be good, and I couldn't be happier. And we better catch a foul ball. We're going to find out. So as far as the final thought,
it's your turn this week.
Yes, it is. 22 a day. We always start it that way. We always end it that way, and that's the way it is always going to be every single week, every single day, until the last episode of this thing, And even after that, we'll probably annoy you with Facebook posts and Instagram posts and texts. 22 a day. 22 a day. We extend this and we talk about it all the time because 22 is way too much. 1 is way too much. It's just way too fucking much, and we need to be there for each other. We need to be there for you. I'm not asking you to be there for me, but there are people out there who have it worse than I do. There are people who probably have it worse than Jay does too. Everyone has their own situation, and everyone has a story to tell. The suicide prevention hotline is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. You could call them, you could text them, whatever you're more comfortable with. Someone volunteers their time of the day to sit there and be there for you. If you feel that you don't have anyone or anything, if you don't have a totem or if you don't have an escape, give them a call. someone will listen. Call us. We will listen. Like we just said.
You send the DD214 gaming admins a message. I will provide my personal phone number and I will talk to you. If you need help, I will talk to you 24 hours a day. I don't sleep much as it is, so I got nothing but time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, we're all we got. Whether you're gay, straight, African American, Asian, Caucasian, whatever you may be, however you may come, you're no different than anybody. We're all the same. We are.
Come as you are. Come as you are to us.
Yes. So please, guys, you're never alone. You are never alone. The lines are always open for you to talk to us. Hey, even if you want to joke with us, we're there with you. Give us a call. You are not alone. We love you guys. We can't wait to see you next week. We can't wait to see you in the coming weeks. Lots of, you know, this new era has been a blessing. It's been great. It's been fun. It's been funny. It's been better. And you know what, man? I can't wait until I'm fucking there with you, shaking your fucking hand and giving you a fucking hug. And you know, it's gonna be good. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We love you. Don't forget to swallow the homies good night.
Always swallow the homies good night.
You know,
you got less than a month, John. You better prepare yourself. You got less than a month before you see me.
Oh, yeah. So. And guys, if you guys have any suggestions on any cool word games, throw them our way. We'll play them. I will work on a sex position and gamer tag part 2. You know,
you better try hard this time. No, I got 13 out of 15. So
yeah, you know, this was good. But guys, thank you so much. We love you. Stay calm. Stay hydrated. And most importantly, stay cool.